For the past few videos of these two card reviews, we've had some really amazing cards, right? We've had some really great cards that we've got to see, some really cool stuff, and now we're getting back into like okay territory, right? They're fine, but they're not great. Actually, glancing through these two cards, I don't even know if I use these anymore. So this is gonna be a video once again, as you should probably note by now, that if you have a strategy or if you use these a certain way, it's pretty interesting. Let me know down in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let's go check out these cards from the Wasp pack. All right, the first one we have is Running Interference. This is a 2-cost Justice event. Thwart, play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Remove 2 threat from the main scheme. It's a hero action. Remove X additional threat from the main scheme to a maximum of 3, where X is equal to the villain's stage number. Now, if you're playing Expert, this isn't too bad, right? Basically, it's 2 for 5. And you can only use it on the main scheme, which if you're getting to stage 3 on Expert, right, then you're probably only going to remove off the main scheme. Like, in that situation, it's not bad. But I don't know if I mentioned this. You can only play if you have the Avenger trait. So it's kind of locked behind that, which I don't know. Like, 2 for 5 is good, right? 2 for 5 is strong. But it stinks that it's locked behind Avenger. And I don't think any other aspects have any, or not aspects, traits have anything like this. Maybe they do, and I just can't think of them off the top of my head because I rarely use these cards. But anyway, it's fine in that situation. The problem is, for the way I play, if I'm on stage 3 of the villain, I'm probably not worrying about the main scheme that much. Like, I'm trying to win and win quickly. I don't want to have that many turns against a stage 3 villain. It's just not going to go well, generally speaking. So, would I use this on like stage 2 for 2 for 4? Yeah, like it's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's just that there are other cards that make a lot more sense, right? Even multitasking makes more sense, or for justice makes more sense, or clear the area, especially for solo. If you're playing multiplayer, maybe it makes more sense because you do a little bit more on stage 5. And if you're running like a pure justice deck, then it makes a bit more sense. But I don't know. True solo doesn't make too much sense. 2-player, probably not. 4-player, 3 or 4. I don't play 3-player that much, but 4-player, I could see it. So I don't know. It's kind of those weird cards. Like I said, let me know down below if you use this or if not. It just feels like you would just use 4 Justice, right? That's the card I would use instead. I don't know, the vast majority of the time. The other one we got to talk about today is All for One. It's a leadership card. 2-cost event. It's an attack. Hero action attack. Deal 3 damage to an enemy and exhaust any number of Avenger characters you control. Deal 1 additional damage to the enemy for each character exhausted this way. So 2 for 3, obviously bad. You exhaust your hero, 2 for 4, still pretty bad, right? So in order to get it up to pretty decent, 3 for 8 is kind of the standard. You probably have to get to around 2 for 6, which means you would have to exhaust 3 Avenger characters, which could be 3 allies you control, right, in your hero, whatever it may be. If you have a build where you're putting in like several Avengers, right? You have Stinger in, you have the Triskelion in, right? Or Avengers Tower, whatever gives you the +1, or I think they both give you +1 to allies. If you could do it that way, where you can exhaust like 5 allies, so they have to take consequential damage, and then you get like a 2 for 8 damage thing going on. Okay, yeah, I could see that. The problem is, for me especially, this seems so kind of like, man, all the stars got aligned, right? Like everything has to go right. And a lot of times, I don't know about you and your games, but things don't always go right. They very rarely go right. It's usually Shadow of the Past creeps in. So it doesn't always make sense for me. And I don't want to use my hero because most of the time my hero does more than 1 damage. And maybe if they only do 1 damage, then it makes sense in that regard. But it's just one of those things where unless all the stars were to align and I was really to build around this card, it wouldn't 100% make sense. Again, I would want 4 to 5 allies out there where I'm doing 7 to 8 damage, right? Again, 2 for 6 is still not bad, but it's still, I don't know, it's not worth the card space always. It's not worth the 2 costs. It's not worth exhausting everything. Like I could just put other better cards in there to kind of equal it out, to math it out better, I should say. So anyway, let me know if you use this card. I think I played around with it once when I did like a, not a recursion deck, but just an ally swarm type build. And it was fine, but again, it never kind of goes, the way I would really want it to go. Now, really quick, before you go, do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. We talked about that already, but go check out the Discord down below. This is my personal Discord. We don't just talk Marvel Champions, but we do talk a lot about it. But we talk about Legendary. We talk about other games, LCGs, TCGs, video games, life, whatever. Make sure to check it out because you'll also know when I go live and new videos go live and all that fun stuff. So I really appreciate it. So we'll be continuing this card series the rest of this week, and hopefully we get some better ones. I don't think we will. I think we're past some of like the really good ones. So to be honest, I've kind of forgotten what comes up next. So I'm really excited to see what the rest of the week is.